today on Studio G how concealed weapon carriers can benefit from knowledge on gun safety.
The big controversy about the Springs Preserve and the stand UNLV students have taken about the future of the reservation.
And the famous Tear Up the Block party hits up UNLV's campus. Stay tuned, this is Studio G.
Hi, welcome to Studio G. I'm Donald Woods.
And I'm Victoria Janae. A man bled to death in the bushes off East Flamingo Road near Swinson Street, according to the Metro Police. The dead body was found late yesterday night when a driver spotted the man face down on the side of the road. According to Lieutenant John Liberty, medical personnel flipped the man over and saw his torso was covered in blood. The man is believed to be in his late 40s or early 50s and was pronounced dead at the scene.
To some, it might be a recreational pastime, but to others, a deadly pleasure, that is. Shooting firearms stir up strong opinions, but there are ways to own a handgun and keep yourself and others protected and safe. Reporter Elena Ledbetter brings us the story.
What appears to be the graveyard of bullet cases is the playground for recreational shooters.
Shooting something that everyone can do.
Jason Harvey, a recreational shooter, looks forward to the weekends where he travels away from the city to the desert.
We go out every once in a while out to the desert in the Las Vegas area and practice our target shooting skills.
Jason has been shooting for 3 years and owns a variety of guns. Recently, he taught his 16-year-old nephew to shoot.
It's always fun to go shooting, but you got to make sure that you're being safe about it.
Recreational shooting can be dangerous, but with the right people, it can be safe.
The people that we go out shooting with, we're all extremely safe. If we need to put something out there, we all know guns up, and we all communicate with each other, and we all trust each other.
Have someone who's experienced with a gun and make sure that they tell you what you need to do.
Jason and his nephew bring targets to shoot and blow up. As a first-time shooter, Jason even showed me how to handle his .223 rifle and how to properly load, lock, and fire it.
I think people don't like guns because I don't think they're not educated about guns. People freak out about them, but they don't know it's not the gun, it's the person behind the gun.
And after every use, Jason and his nephew always securely lock their guns.
There is a lock that is on it that goes up through where the magazine goes and out through the barrel. No matter what happens with this weapon cannot be fired.
If it's for recreation or protection, Jason and his nephew know to not treat a gun like a toy and to always be safe about how they show it off and handle it.
Knowing that a gun could kill someone on accident, be more hesitant about showing it off and a little scared to show my friends it.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Elena Ledbetter.
Recreational shooting in the desert is possible as long as shooters are at least 2 miles away from any road.
Clark County is sorting through stacks of applications, creating the list of people who want to be the first to grow or sell medical marijuana. We're waiting to find out the names behind all those new LLCs, which could be released as early as Friday. Find out the names. There are 206 applications submitted with potentially thousands of business partners. Clark County Commissioner Chris Giuliani are going through medical marijuana business applications that disclose not only the owner, but everyone who would have a share in each business. Clark County commissioners still don't know how many businesses will get the green light to apply the state.
The fate of the Las Vegas Springs Preserve is up in the air. Reporter Alvin Lloyd got UNLV students' reactions.
I had fun. They had this meadow of like flowers. That's probably got to be my favorite part. And they have Wolfgang Puck, which I thought was cool. And at the time I was there, they were holding a wedding ceremony, which I thought was really pretty. I was like, oh.
She is referring to the Spring Preserves in Las Vegas. With recent attention on the Spring Preserve financial situation, questions have arisen whether or not they should stay open.
I think closing it down would remove a great experience that a lot of people could enjoy.
Kids these days, they don't really experience anything outside of their phones or their internet, so it's like a nice to have something for them to look into that's like affordable.
Yeah, I think it's an important community experience that shouldn't be closed because there's just so much to do and it's a lot of fun.
Honestly, I think it's like a really good part of the community, and there should be some way to keep it open, just because it's super family oriented and there's not a lot of places that are like a safe family environment to go to.
Visitors recommend this place for everyone.
Talk to the kids, definitely talk to the parents, maybe have them relate, like, hey, this is something for your kids to do, you know? I mean, I would do it if I had a kid.
It gets boring here in Las Vegas, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the casino, but it's like there, it's like nature, it's really pretty.
I personally stayed there for a few hours looking at all the material, and honestly, it was just a great way to relax, wind down, and enjoy my Saturday.
For Studio G, I'm Alvin Loy.
And to learn more about the Las Vegas Springs Preserve, you can visit springspreserve.org.
If you're looking to have a good time instead of heading home after class, the UNLV had the perfect event for you. The Residential Housing Association, better known as the RHA, organized a Tear Up, the block party event in the courtyard on campus. It took place yesterday from 2 p.m. to 8 a.m. The organization took hours to set up for the Music and Art Festival. Students got the chance to unwind to unique music and express themselves through art.
To give them an experience where they would get to be a part of something. So we kind of invented a music and art festival where they can both come and experience the music and be a part of the music. So we've got student performers, and then they can also be a part of the art because we've got art activities going on as well. And it's something that shapes the UNLV campus away from just being a commuter school. It brings people that would otherwise just leave after classes and roots them here.
The members of the RHA hope that their efforts will encourage students at the UNLV to get more involved with campus activities. The band Animals as leaders were the headliners for the event. Bands that participated in the event were Ha Lee Amato, A Friend of Foe, Greater Than I, and more. Later that night, artists like the Three Bed Sheep painted along with the musical beats of the DJ in an interactive art show. Coming up after the break, a 9-year-old girl starts a new chapter in her life thanks to some high schoolers.
And UNLV Golf is swinging for a regional title. Reporter Troy Fosgate will be back with the latest Rebel Sports.
And redefine the UNLV college experience. UNLV has over 200 registered student organizations on campus and in the Las Vegas community, encompassing a variety of interests, activities, and beliefs among the student body. To explore, access, and join a student organization, visit the Involvement Center website under my.unlv.edu. Be a rebel. Get involved.
NSPCA, where no animal has an expiration date.
Welcome back from the break. Metro Police Department is still on the search for the Las Vegas teen who's been missing since April 22nd from the area of Blue Diamond and South Decatur Road. 15-year-old Brandon Barandas has been missing for 10 days now, and his family says continuous bullying of their son drove him to run away. Brandon is 5'6" and 105 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a gray t-shirt, black jeans, and a white and gray sneakers. He may be carrying a backpack with personal belongings. Anyone with any information is asked to contact Metro at 702-828-3111.
Eva Longora's female-focused Las Vegas Strip steakhouse is now closed. Health inspectors declared finding violations of food temperature regulations. She by Morton Steakhouse, located inside the Crystal Shops at the Aria Casino, closed on Wednesday. After inspections, records showed the restaurant received 21 demerits relating to keeping food at the proper temperatures and maintaining accurate thermometers. Health District spokeswoman Stephanie Bethel says restaurants are allowed to reopen when they correct the violations and health inform officials.
A little girl in Illinois born without fingers on her left hand gets the gift of a lifetime thanks to some good friends and a 3D printer.
Kylie Wicker is your typical 9-year-old girl. She loves the simple things like playing outdoors. But those simple things aren't always so easy when your left hand has no fingers.
She's always been pretty positive about it, but when she's breaking down lately, it was kind of hard.
Today, that's all changing. High school students in her Illinois town are set to make a new hand for her with their 3D printer. It was Kylie's dad who reached out to them.
He had seen online that you could make a 3D print of the fingers on a plastic printer. 3D printer, and he knew we had one. Flexible cords make the fingers stand out. When you bend the wrist forward, the length gets longer and the cables force the hand to grasp.
Prosthetics like these can cost $20,000 to $50,000. Kylie's will be a lot less.
The total cost of this will be barely $5. Maybe $1's worth of plastic and a couple of bucks for the fasteners.
The cost of the hand might not be much, but its impact is priceless.
I can finally ride my bike, and it's really exciting.
As Kylie grows, she'll have to be refitted for another prosthetic hand, but for right now, she and her family are grateful for the opportunity the high school class has given her.
Remains of a Vietnam veteran's body found in a septic tank is being investigated by Northern Nevada Sheriff's deputies. Investigators said yesterday they traced the serial number on a medallion with the skeletal remains to identify George Basin Webster, a highly decorated Vietnam veteran nearly 34 years after he disappeared. These remains were found near the septic tank Comstock mining town of Virginia City. Webster apparently died from a blow to the head. Detectives are trying to find anyone who knew him or another Sun Valley man who of interest was also dead, Calvin Cowboy Green. The Sun Valley's mechanic was 32 when his mother reported him missing in 1980.
An Oklahoma inmate died of a heart attack on Tuesday after a botched lethal injection.
Clayton Lockett was convicted of kidnapping, raping, and murdering a young woman before burying her alive. 16 minutes into his execution, officials noticed that things were not going as planned.
He mumbles something's wrong. He is lifting his whole upper shoulders and head off the gurney and writhing.
The execution was stopped, but Lockett died of a heart attack later. His death brings to light a controversial issue. A majority of states have shield laws so that no one, not even death row inmates, can know where the drugs for lethal injections come from.
The suppliers of these drugs are afraid that they'll be put out of business by cooperation with the death penalty process. If the doctors that they sell prescription drugs to are aware that they're supplying the drugs of death to places like Oklahoma, these companies are fearful that they'll lose prescription business.
Many of these drug manufacturers have cut off supply to the United States, and the shortage of suppliers has caused states to try new drug combinations or get the drugs from loosely regulated companies. And another controversy comes from the fact that prison officials, not doctors, administer the drugs.
Physicians a lot of times are not even involved in the process because it's a violation of medical ethics and the Hippocratic Oath to assist in putting somebody to death. So it's become a real amateur operation in terms of how we actually put people to death in the United States.
The controversial topic is an issue everywhere, and Nevada has conducted 12 executions since 1976, which puts us in 19th place out of 34 states for the most executions. For Studio G, I'm Valerie Mercenier.
And for more information on capital punishment in Nevada and other states, you can visit deathpenalty.info. UNLV Golf. The UNLV golf team seems to be getting their name put in the spotlight at the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, and have you been watching any of the playoff games or anything like that?
As of right now, no, but reporter Troy Fosgate has the latest sports news at UNLV.
It's Studio G News, and I am Troy Fosgate with your sports. Welcome to UNLV Rebel Sports, your Friday delight of UNLV athletic news. We start off with men's golf. Last Thursday, 3 UNLV men's golf players were selected to the All-Mountain West men's golf team, the first time since 2008. Juniors Carl Johnson, Kurt Kitayama, and sophomore Zane Thomas are the 3 Rebels chosen for the 10-member team. So far in the season, Kitayama leads the UNLV team in scoring average and 7th in the Mountain West Conference, while Johnson and Thomas are 2nd and 3rd for the Rebels. UNLV women's golf are set to play in the NCAA Central Regional, where they will be ranked as the number 16th seed. This marks the Rebels' 12th straight appearance in the NCAA regional titles. The tournament is set to tee off from May 8th to the 10th at the Carson Creek Golf Course in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Now on to UNLV sports community news. Registration is now open for Dave Rice's basketball camp. The 2 camps will take place from June 9th to the 11th and 16th to the 18th at the Mendenhall Center for $120. The camp will specialize in basketball competitive drills, guest lectures, and showing off improved basketball skills for bragging rights. Let's move on to national sports news. The 2014 World Cup in Sao Paulo, Brazil is just 6 weeks away, yet the tournament stadium is far from finished. The stadium was supposed to be completed and approved by FIFA regulations by December last year. The 20,000-seat venue has been halted with setbacks, including cost overruns and 3 construction-related deaths. The stadium is set to be done by the second half of May, and the World Cup is expected to start on June 12th. That wraps up this week's installment of UNLV Rebel Sports. Back to the desk.
Thanks for that, Troy. So, how you enjoying the weather lately? It's been getting really sunny for me.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's getting really warm. The winds are really dying down. So it seems like winds have died down, but the heat is turning up. So Christina, how's our weather?
Yeah.
You know, our weather's looking amazing for this weekend, but I'll have more right after the break.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
Welcome back from the break. So I am so excited. We're going to have such a beautiful weekend, but right now we are at 85 degrees and we do have southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. For some temperatures around the valley, we have Summerlin at 77, the Strip at 78, Aliante at 75, and Henderson at 80 degrees. So we do have this high pressure system that is anchoring over us right now. It's giving us those warm, sunny, clear skies, but it won't last for long because those winds will pick up because we do have this trough of low pressure system building up over the northwest, and it will be moving in, and our winds can expect to pick up early next week, and our temperatures actually will decrease about 10 degrees. For the rest of today, at 3 p.m., we'll have winds 0 to 5 miles per hour, and we can be at 92 degrees. 6 p.m., our winds will dip down to 0 to 3 miles per hour, and we'll be at 91. And then at 9 p.m., we'll have calm winds and be at 85 degrees, but all day we'll have clear skies. And because of that high pressure system over our area, the temperatures are increasing and UV index as well. So if you're going to be out and about, it is very high, so don't forget that sunscreen. For the rest of our week, we can expect Saturday and Sunday to be breezy in the low 90s, but come Monday and Tuesday, we'll be at 89 degrees and 77, and that's when we can expect those clouds to move on in because of that low pressure system. And then hopefully we'll start working our way back up into the low 90s and those breezy conditions. But for tomorrow, if you are going to be out because of the clear skies, here's what your hourly Saturday will look like. 7 and 8 will be in the 70s, and then hopefully through the rest of the day we'll get up into the mid 80s. So that's all I have for you. Yeah. Conditions right now, but we can expect those. All right, now back to the desk.
Thanks for that, Christina. So I was gonna expect some rain last weekend. Surprisingly, there was none. How about
Yeah,
you?
surprisingly, there was a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind, and now it's dried up, and we're looking good.
Yeah, a lot of dust, a lot of pollen. My allergies start kicking in. Coming up after the break, reporter Elena Ledbetter sits down with Dr. Georgia Dunis, DDS, to talk about her interprofessional research at the UNLV School of Dental Medicine.
Volunteers of Girl Scouts of Southern Nevada.
I want this place to be a place that they feel safe, and secure, a place where they get inspired. So many times we kind of get complacent in our everyday life, transforming lives in the community from the inside out. I've been in fitness my whole life, but now tying that in now in my spiritual walk, it's been just amazing. Some people may want to run a marathon. Some may want to just get off their asthma inhaler. Exercising and moving our bodies, I think it's, you know, we say if you don't use it, you lose it.
Welcome back from the break. We are sitting here today with Dr. Georgia Dunis, DDS, to talk about her interprofessional research at UNLV School of Dental Medicine about the management of oral systemic healthcare needs of older adults with chronic disease. Thank you for being here with us today. Now, I see you brought some information about your research. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Sure. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, UNLV School of Dental Medicine is a sub-award of a 5-year grant that we have received with our consortium partners, which are the School of Medicine, Touro University, as well as UNLV. The goal of the consortium is to develop interprofessional geriatric training programs using a variety of technologies and venues to improve the delivery of healthcare for older adults here in the state of Nevada. The focus of our interprofessional training program is to manage the oral systemic healthcare needs of older adults that are challenged with type 2 diabetes and their comorbidities. A little bit of background information. Type 2 diabetes is one of the most common form of diabetes that is also referred to as adult onset. The average onset of the disease is 51 years of age, and nearly 18% of those that are over the age of 18 are challenged by this condition, and over 50% of those that are over the age of 65 are challenged by this. This is adding to our healthcare costs, and to manage the condition, it's costing our healthcare system over $174 billion. According to 2009 statistics, the burden of this disease for our state of Nevada is over 20% of those that are over the age of 18 are challenged by this condition. Uncontrolled type 2 diabetes is causing serious complications such as heart disease, kidney disease, stroke, and limb reduction. So that's something that all of us need to keep in mind. However, currently healthcare professionals are receiving minimal interprofessional training and education as part of their core curriculum. So what our program is doing is developing an interprofessional approach to managing these conditions. So our curriculum components were developed by faculty from the School of Nursing and Allied Health, as well as the School of Medicine and Dentistry. This is an innovative approach where we're using standardized patients and high fidelity mannequins to develop scenarios, and we're using this as a venue. The objective of our program is to improve knowledge, attitudes, and experiences and skills as to how to improve the care of these older adults. Thus far, we have trained over 100 healthcare faculty. This is a statewide program. where faculty are invited to participate. Faculty trainees from various disciplines such as medicine, dentistry, nursing, allied health, pharmacy, nutrition, psychology, sociology have completed this program thus far. We are evaluating the program activities where we're measuring knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions of our participants. And I can share with you, if you have a couple of moments, some of our results.
Yeah, I was just going to ask where the results were going.
Yes. So these are some preliminary results from our program. The interprofessional collaboration and team knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions improved for all participants. Something that we found rather interesting is that healthcare language needs, we need to have common healthcare language so that we can communicate across the different disciplines that we're training. So not only the disciplines, but across healthcare facilities. As patients are being transported to different facilities, so that all the information that we gather, we can transfer that to wherever.
That's wonderful, and I wish we had a little bit more time to talk about the results and hear more about your research, but that's wonderful, and I'm so glad that you're doing that because it sounds like a very important issue, especially in Nevada. So thank you so much, but we're going to be headed now back to the desk.
Thank you.
It's a big birthday year for the state of Nevada, turning 150 on October 31st. The United States Post Service has come up with a way for everyone in the world to help us with the celebration, a commemorative post stamp. Nevada artist Ron Spears created the stamp illustration that shows a scene from Valley of Fire State Park near the town of Overton. While many commemorative Nevada items are unveiled up north, this will only happen right here at the Smith Center in Las Vegas on May 29th. The first day ceremony for the Nevada Statehood Commemorative Forever Stamp takes place at 11 a.m. at the Smith Center for the Performing Arts, 361 Symphony Park Avenue in Las Vegas.
And that's all the news we have for you today. I'm Donald Woods.
And I'm Victoria Janae for another edition of Studio G. Have a fabulous weekend, Las Vegas.